Blade Runner 2049 is directed by Denis Villeneuve, written by Michael Green and Hampton Fancher, one of the writers for the original Blade Runner, and it stars Ryan Gosling, Jared Leto, Harrison Ford, Ana de Armas, among others. This film takes place 30 years after the original Blade Runner, where we follow a young Blade Runner played by Ryan Gosling on the hunt for old Nexus 8 replicants with the purposes of replacing them with new models called Nexus 9 by the Wallace Corporation, led by Jared Leto's Neander Wallace. And that's all I will really say about the plot, because a letter by Denis Villeneuve himself came on to the press screening I was at, and he asked himself for us, the critics, to not reveal any plot details. And I will not do so because I want you, as always, to experience this film as I experienced it. And guys, I have been waiting all my life, without even knowing it, for a sequel for Blade Runner. It is one of my favorite films of all time. It is the sci-fi film, and Blade Runner 2049, after 3-4 hours of thinking about it on the train ride home from Lisbon to Porto, is my favorite movie of the year. This film is absolutely for Blade Runner fans. If you did not like the first one, at the very least, you are not going to enjoy 2049. This film is visually orgasmic. The work by Roger Deakins and Denis Villeneuve immerse you in this universe that becomes palpable. I sensed I could smell the stuff that was on screen at times, and that is a unique experience I have never had in a film. Denis Villeneuve is a master director, and if he hadn't proved it before with Arrival, Sicario, Prisoners, or Enemy, he proves it right here. This man is a true visionary with a world he creates and reassembles after the creation that was the original Blade Runner by Ridley Scott. Because he wisely made this movie understanding that we should not move away from the questions imposed in the first movie, nor from the answers that it gives. Because on the broader scope, Blade Runner is a deeply philosophical film. But the discussion has evolved from that. The debate has not ended, and some questions might have different answers today than they had in the 80s. And I think this film, like the original, will evolve through time and stand the test of time. He makes this movie beautifully. Every shot, every length of the shot, every movement of the camera is beautiful and pristine and makes you immersed into this world, almost like you could go into the screen and grab on to the things you see. The food, the buildings, the clothes, the lights in the city, the flying cars. Every detail in this film is excruciatingly put together excellently. And let's talk about another master of his craft, Roger Deakins. A lot of people say this a lot of times, and I never said it before about anything. I will say right now, if Roger Deakins does not win the Oscar for Best Cinematography, I will give up on caring for what the Academy nominates or doesn't, because this man does some immaculate work here. He complements the beautiful set design that is created to give life to the world of Blade Runner, and trust me, the very lighting by Roger Deakins, the colors that he uses in this film are telling a story all to themselves, and he is complemented by the direction by Villeneuve, which is very slow. These two craft some beautiful art in this film. This film is a very slow burn. Coming back to the questions that this movie imposes, this film allows the audience to challenge itself, not only on a surface level, which is very symbolical in the visuals of this film. The questions that you are asked in this movie, and that you ask yourself throughout this movie, and the answers you find need time. They need to sink in, and both Deakins and Villeneuve allow you to sink in what this movie is saying, what the thematics in this film are. Now, on a more surface level, Ryan Gosling is excellent in this film, and he is channeling in a lot of Harrison Ford's original performance. He is very raw and subdued. He's very understated, almost like he is not meant to be seen as a hero at all in this film. And as you find more and more about him throughout the film, along with his relationship with Ana de Armas, who is also excellent in this film, he becomes a beautifully tragic, classically Greek written character. It's amazing what Ryan Gosling does in this film. Every look, every facial expression, every breath that he takes, literally, it's fantastically done. And Harrison Ford in this film, when he comes in, he proves the power that an actual movie star, not talking about actor, he is a great actor and he does a great job in here, but the power of a movie star in this film right here is proved by the presence of Harrison Ford, who comes in to answer some questions that were left off in the original Blade Runner and maybe even bring up a few more questions. And they both share great chemistry in this film. They are two very different characters, and there are some heartbreaking scenes when it comes to the arcs of their characters that I thought I was going to burst out in tears. I didn't, but I thought I was going to. I also have to give a shout out to Sylvia Hoeks as Love, one of the replicants that works directly with Wallace. She is brutal, she is fantastic in this role, she's very physical and menacing, and she brings it all to the screen. I loved this character. It's riddled with fantastic performances and wisely keeps on the thematics of the new film with a new take on them. The discussion has evolved. Blade Runner, its world, has evolved, and the movie understands that and wisely keeps on going at it in a very slow burn, challenging the audience to think for itself with thought-provoking themes and philosophy, giving new ways into the discussion that is to this day had about the original Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049 proves the strengths of each and every member in its cast and crew, from director to cinematographer to composer to actors and to characters. It's a true blockbuster piece of art in sci-fi film, and it is the stuff that dreams are made of. Did you enjoy Blade Runner 2049, my beautiful geekies? Do you like this one more or the original? Let me know in the comments below, and check out my review for the original Blade Runner if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And on Thursday, I will have my Geek Classic review for Thor in anticipation for Thor Ragnarok by the end of this month. Can't wait to see you there. And so until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky united!